Okay, another Raw's done as we inch closer to the Elimination Chamber and also closer to 22111. With this week's teaser actually having words to it and a song which sounded like Johnny Cash saying something to the effect of, "No grave can hold my body down." Which again really pushes for The Undertaker since the last time he was seen, the Nexus beat him down and he lost a Buried Alive match to Kane. Would it be awesome if it was Sting? Yes, I'm not lying, it'd be awesome. I don't think you could build up Sting Undertaker in like 6 weeks. But anyways, back to Raw. The majority of Raw actually dealt, with the Nexus trying to weaken everybody in advance for the Elimination Chamber. Orton finally got to find out why CM Punk had Nexus attack him and cost him the title at the Royal Rumble. They went back to Unforgiven 2008 when Orton and the Legacy took out Punk, making Punk vacate his title, not defend it at Unforgiven. Yay for continuity. They took a storyline that's like almost 3 years old and use that to make a current storyline. Nexus beatdown where it looked like Punk got his nose broken by Orton because he was just gushing blood. This is the most blood we've seen in E since it's gone to the PG era. So you got to see R-Truth take on Mason Ryan. R-Truth decided to say what's up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. They were in Milwaukee, which prompted a beautiful chant of Milwaukee, even though the natives called it Milwaukee. Of course, he got destroyed with Mason Ryan doing a submission a la the Brock Lock, which essentially is a single leg submission where you have your opponent's leg draped behind the back of your head. After the match, he continued to apply the hold, and then he did it in a much more interesting way, looking almost kind of like an octopus stretch. So he was fully standing, with his leg, with R-Truth's leg behind his head, which of course led to that match being ruled a DQ and R-Truth winning. There was a 6 Divas tag match with the Bellas and Melina taking on, believe it or not, Tamina, Gail Kim, and Eve. Tamina did not get tagged in at all. And Natalya was doing commentary. Pretty much it was just Cole and Natalya yelling at each other the whole time while the match was actually fairly decent. They also did that straight up build up to the match between Eve and Natalya next week for Eve's return Natalya's return match against Eve from the Royal Rumble. Should be interesting, Eve again hit a horrible drop kick, but has a pretty nice neckbreaker for a finisher, so I'll give her props for that. McGillicuddy took on Morrison and got annihilated. Then later, Morris got attacked by Punk, who sprayed a substance into his face and then kicked him in the head. So as you can tell, Punk wanted to wear everybody down for the chamber, not eliminate them. So if you have them defeated, then they just put someone else in their spot. They want to be beaten down and weakened. Otunga got the unenviable task of taking on Sheamus. Before that, Josh Matthews interviewed Sheamus and was like, yeah, we heard someone said that Mark Henry kind of ran you down and said he should be in the chamber and you shouldn't. Which then made Sheamus make a whole bunch of essentially fat jokes to then have Mark Henry come down and clean Sheamus's clock. I mentioned a while back I really could see a feud between Sheamus and Mark Henry working out. And I'll be honest, after seeing this match, 2 big powerhouses doing power moves back and forth, it looked pretty good, I'll be honest. It looked interesting. The Miz of course called out Jerry the King Lawler. Pretty solid promo here building up their match at the Elimination Chamber. Which then led to an attack by DiBiase Jr. And then a save by Daniel Bryan. So you got to see a tag match between Bryan and Lawler versus Miz and DiBiase Jr. And of course, the burying of DiBiase Jr. continued because he lost to Jerry the King Lawler, who was on an absolute tear heading into the Elimination Chamber. Which of course he'll lose, which will set up the amazing match of Lawler versus Cole at WrestleMania. So now we're pretty much heading into the main event, which is CM Punk versus Cena. Cena did a pretty good job, getting the crowd behind him. Because right before that, Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero came out to their standard, just being destroyed by boos. Cena came out was kind of like, Archer's made a mistake. When Green Bay won last night, he celebrated a little bit too much. He still thinks he's in Green Bay. But we're here in Milwaukee. Got the crowd nice and pumped up. Did a good job there. Took on Punk in a really good competitive match. He was being Punk down in the corner, and the ref's like, "You don't do it. I'm going to disqualify you." And Cena goes, "I get disqualified?" Yeah. Hits a blatant low blow, like, pretty much lifting Punk off the ground with a low blow. Therefore, prompting the other Nexus to come down. Lawler tosses a chair into him to Cena. Cena beats down Nexus. There you go. Pretty decent, pretty solid. All in all, this was a good Raw. Oh, and Vince McMahon came back to essentially announce that the special guest host of WrestleMania will be introduced next week. That was it. He didn't do anything else. He didn't get involved in the storyline. He just came out and said, WrestleMania's going to be host will be announced next week. So we're marching close towards the Chamber. It's looking more and more like the 221-11 is more than likely going to be the Undertaker. Would it be awesome for Sting? Yes. Would I rather see Sting show up sometime around SummerSlam than build it to Taker's 20-0 match against Sting at next year's Mania? Yeah. Or just see Sting inducted into the Hall of Fame. But this year, inducting him into the Hall of Fame would almost overshadow Shawn Michaels getting into the Hall of Fame. So, would it be awesome to see Sting? Yeah. Again, I don't think it's going to happen on 221-11.